In this video, we will discuss common network security terms. Those terms are assets, vulnerability, exploit, threat, attack, risk, and countermeasure. Now, coming to the first one is assets. So, assets is anything which the organization is invested and which is valuable to the organization. So, for every organization, the assets can change. Examples are such as properties, vehicles, heavy equipment, plants, buildings, employees, computer, data, etc. Now, protecting the organization assets is the prime function of security engineer. It can be physical security or network security. So these are the assets. Second is vulnerability. Vulnerability can be defined a weakness in a system or in design. So basically weaknesses, it can be in the protocol, it can be in the system, it can be in the design. Because every design, every system, every protocol, everything is being created by a human. And definitely human can do a mistakes. So there is a chances for error and mistakes always, because everything is created by human. Now these vulnerability can be an application, it can be in the network protocol, it can be in the operating system. Now attacker use these weaknesses in these system and these application and these protocol to gain access to the organization network, and they exploit these weaknesses. We call them vulnerability. Now what is exploit? So exploit can be defined a method, a tool, a techniques which is used by attacker on the vulnerability to damage the target network or system or application. So they use different tool, method, techniques to exploit the vulnerability and to gain access to the network or to damage the target network. So we call them exploit. Next is threat. Threat can be defined as anything danger to the assets. And there are many things we discuss assets. So there are many things which is dangerous to the organization assets. They can be a spyware, it can be a hacker, viruses, keylogger, it can be Trojan horses, slow responses, it can be anything, DOS attack, DDoS attack, worms, rootkit, and the attack can be from inside or can be from the outside. So these are called threat. So anything which is a danger to the assets, we call them threat. Next is attack. So attack can be defined as an action taken by attacker to damage the assets. So the action when the attacker take to damage the system, the network, the protocol, the application, we call them attack. Next is risk. So basically risk can be defined as potential for loss, for compromise, for damage, destruction or other negative consequences of an organization assets. So these are the potential loss for organization. Normally we say risk equal to assets, threat plus vulnerability. So if there is a threat, there is a vulnerability, and we have assets, so there is a risk involved. And finally, we have a countermeasure. So countermeasure is the action initiated by the organization typically our security professional or security engineer to mitigate the threat. So we discuss about the threat. So when you take an action to stop the and mitigate the threat, we call them countermeasure to protect your network, your application, your services. So we call them countermeasure. However, this is not one-time job. These common security terms which we discuss is interconnected with each other. So there is a circle of risk. So we have assets, and these assets can be compromised. We need to protect this one. So there is always threat, and there is attack, and there is a vulnerability, so somebody can exploit those vulnerability. So there is a risk involved. So you can see this is a complete circle. So from this understanding, now we know that a security is not a one-time job, that you install a firewall or IPS and IDS and you are done. No, it's a continuous job. You need to protect your assets, and they will find out vulnerability and they will gain access to your assets. So there is a competition between good guys and bad guys. So I hope so you understand these common terms.